for all of those that do not know me, I am a nerd. And for those who do know me, you already know that I am a nerd. And I like talking about this nerdy stuff and having fun with you all. So I know that Catherine has her hand up. We're going to get to you, but I have to address the whole Chicago thing because I am too from Chicago, and I think it's one of the greatest cities in the world. And I know the people in New York would, kind of beg to differ, but we also have the best pizza. And that's a fact.
I don't know. I'm a New Yorker, born and raised, and Queens, Brooklyn, the whole thing. And we have pretty good pizza, I gotta tell you. South Florida doesn't cut it, but when I go to New York, I get my, New York is, I don't know.
No, I always argue with my New York friends.
Yeah.
So let's talk about some tech stuff. I have a lot of questions. I actually just sent Positive Pat the answer for the backgrounds for the Chromebook. My sincere apologies for the delay with that. I was supposed to send it after the last call. I completely forgot. There's no excuse. I know went a little over and my mind got a little crazy. So I just sent that to you. I also sent Nicole and Ashley some other information for some other questions in which we got. So we'll start out. For those who have not been in here, we're going to do a tech hour where you could just ask any questions. I don't know all the answers. I don't act like I do, but I will try to find that answer for you if I do not know the answer. So you could either raise your physical hand, raise your digital hand like Catherine is doing right now, or even chat something in the chat box, and then we'll be able to address those questions. No question is a dumb question. I see you, Benita. We'll get to that question. It may help someone else. So if it's a very simple question and you want to get an answer to it, please ask it. It may help someone else. Without further ado, we will start. Should I start with you said the chat, Nicole?
Let's take Catherine's question and then we'll go right to the chat. We have 3 hands up and we have a few questions going on in chat. So Catherine, go ahead.
My question is, sometime on my tablet and even on my phone, it says something about clean out something, and I don't know how to go about doing that with is that whether it's a scam or what, or how do I go about doing it, because I'm scared it might clean out the wrong thing.
Sure. Let me ask you this, Catherine. Specifically, are you in a certain app like Photos, email, or something like that where it says clean out?
Right now it's not showing, but depends on where I'm at, it'll say clean out. So I'm not sure how to go about doing that.
Yeah, it maybe during this hour call, maybe it'll come up. Hopefully it can, because some of the things that you can find, it could be where it is like, I wouldn't call it a scam, but sort of like an advertisement that is going to lead you to a scam that could say, click on this to clean out all your files, and they want to charge you some money. So I just want to make sure that, I guide you in the right direction with, you giving me that proper information, and I don't just tell you an answer. Usually, if you're in your Photos app, your Mail app, and things like that, nothing really should pop up to say, clean this out. But if you are in your settings, for instance, I have seen where you can clear your cache, you can clear things and clean things out, but nothing should be popping out advertising to you to clean something out.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So hopefully it comes up while we're still on this call.
Right now it's saying right now it says, let's free up some space, clean up the unused app to speed up your DE. Keep this only the app you need. Start cleaning. But I don't want to hit it because I don't know where it's coming from.
Yeah, and that's hard to see. If I can't see it, I could see if you're running out of space. Let me see here. Yeah, if you're running out of, is that an email right there, or just the message itself?
It's a message itself. It says T-Mobile.
T-Mobile. Yes.
Okay. So if that's T-Mobile and it's a legitimate T-Mobile, that could be true, because if you're running out of space on your tablet, they'll say, hey, offload some apps because you don't really have enough room and you can't do it. But what I would recommend, just so you don't delete something that you may need or want, if you could get, one of the grandkids, someone to kind of make sure that you're not deleting something that you need or want, I will wait for someone to kind of help you just to ensure that.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
But it
I can
seems
get
like
rid of
it's
some
legit.
apps.
It seemed just from that email, what I just saw, it seems legit.
Okay, thank you.
You're very welcome.
What I would like to know is how do I turn my mirror front camera to the green on position?
How do you turn your front camera to the green on?
Yes.
What app are you in that's asking you to do that?
Well, the reason I'm wondering is because when I hit my camera app and it comes up, I don't get anything on there. It's just a black screen.
Okay, do you have a case on your phone?
No.
Okay, and it's just a black screen, so nothing's blocking your camera front or back?
No.
Yeah, that shouldn't be. One of the things you could try is maybe quitting the app. What type of phone do you have again?
iPhone 12.
Okay, so iPhone 12 and you just can't see the camera. So when you open up the camera app, you just see a black screen.
Yes.
And for sure, there's nothing blocking the camera on the back of your phone.
Nothing is blocking it.
Yeah, I would try to maybe turn the phone off and turn it back on, because if nothing's blocking this camera, as soon as you open your camera app, it should start using this app. But what you could do is, this camera, let me see here. Let me show you. So if I go into my phone here, as soon as I go into it and I hit the camera app, it's going to show me whatever's in using the back camera here, right? So if that's dark, something's blocking it. And if nothing's blocking it, like you said, I would try to turn the phone off completely and then turning it back on. And if it still doesn't come on, I would have maybe Apple take a look at your phone to see what's going on, because your camera could be actually physically damaged.
Okay, I have something to say. When we were on the first time and we were discussing the camera, you had us to turn to in our settings, either about or camera, one of the two, and then it was a circle and then it had a minus in there. And you said that we could delete those. It was 4 on my phone if we wanted to, but I don't want to delete anything there. I want to pull it back up. I don't want to delete it.
Wait, I'm not sure. Delete what in the settings? What do we do?
It probably was camera.
No, not from there, because you can't. The camera app itself, that's something that you won't be able to delete. So right here, you can remove this app, but like as far as the camera, you can't delete the physical camera. So, but when you pull it up, you should be able to see whatever comes out of this camera here.
Okay.
So I would just try, while we're on the phone, I would just, and you can answer and let me know, but I would try to power it off and then power it back on to see if that will get the camera, because whenever you turn on the camera, you should always see something.
Now, it wouldn't matter this on the left, this notch that you say we can turn it on and off. Would that make a difference? Why I'm not saying?
Oh yeah, so yeah, that's not the camera. You mean this little notch here?
Yeah, another subject now.
Yeah, that right there is just the vibrate, the silent, going silent, and the ringer. That should not affect the camera whatsoever.
Okay. All right.
Okay. So
All right.
try to power it off while we're on the phone to see if that starts working for you.
Well, it was already off, but I'll turn it off again.
Okay, yeah, try that and bring it back up and just see if the camera starts to work. But if it's not coming up and it's dark, there's something physically, even though there's nothing blocking it, so there's something physically wrong with that camera. And I will have someone check it out.
Okay, all right.
Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, so I know Positive Pat, I think you're back with us. That's great. And then, so Marianne, and then I see S. Griffin and Catherine, and then the questions in the chat as well. So go ahead, Marianne, if you want to unmute.
And this is Charles that came to the last week, Harry Truman class.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I asked last week, and I think you were going to email to us because it was going to take too long, how to remove trending searches from Google. Not what you're, currently searching for, but all the trending mess that's below it that I tried to delete just by clicking it, it came back.
Yeah, so I sent you all an email earlier. And what I did, I sent it right before we started the call. So you had 3 questions that I gave you a link on, and then I'll also show everyone else because someone had that question the last time. Let me just share my screen here. Perfect. Can you all see my screen here?
Uh-huh.
Yep. All right. So basically all I did is how to remove trending searches on Google.
Okay.
So you'll get right to Google, and it tells you on all devices how to remove that. Once you type that into the Google search, and then you're here, manage Google autocomplete. So all it's doing is basically propagating what you may want to type in or any of those trending searches. And then you just go here and you can actually turn those off. But I sent you all a link that'll directly walk you through the steps as well.
Okay. Like you.
Oh, you're welcome. And then the other thing that you had a couple of other questions. One was how to like organize files and save photos. That's a very long answer, but I can give you an idea, just a kind of short overview. When it comes down to saving photos, are you all working on a PC or Mac?
Working on iPhones.
Okay, everything on an iPhone?
Or iPad.
Or iPad,
okay.
Yeah.
So basically, what I'll do is I can send you some other information. I thought you meant a computer, but even then, this is still going to be a short version of a long answer, but this will kind of get you to go. Let me just share this with you all. So as I have you all can see my screen, right?
Uh-huh.
All right, so on an iPhone, I'll go into my photos here, which is in my top row. I just tapped on that. On the bottom, it lets you see I'm in the library. You have For You, you have albums. I only have 3 photos in there. So in here are 2 photos and then 1 long video. So in order to create an album or folder, they're kind of like the same. What I could do is in here, these are my albums. I go back to the main screen and you see that plus button at the top left. I can tap on that plus button, and then it's going to ask me, do I want to create a new album or a new folder? An album, you can have, folders with a lot of pictures, and you can have an album. They're basically the same. Think about a real album that's going to contain photos and a real folder that's going to contain photos. In the real world, you can put photos in both. So in this case, I'll choose a folder.
Your question.
Okay. And then here, I'll give it a name. I'll say MHA, my health angel, and I'll save it. And now I have a folder, okay? Now nothing's in that folder. So if I want to put something in that folder, I will then go over here and I'll see that I have this photo here. And I'm like, oh, you know what? I actually want to save this. So I'll go here on the bottom. It doesn't show you here. There's a little arrow in a square that's pointing up, and it doesn't show you on the screen what I'm doing because I'm sharing my screen. So it's just once you choose the photo, you're able to add that to a folder, but it won't allow you to see it because I'm sharing my screen with you, if that makes sense. But if you were able to create that folder, then you could start to add things to that folder. And I can send you some information on that, what is more step-by-step. Okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Here, let me stop this here.
Okay, so I think S. Griffin, I think, is it Sue or if you can unmute?
My question is, I have a Mac computer, desktop computer, and I've just put in Excel, Microsoft Excel on it. And every time I try to open it, it comes up, a page comes up and says Microsoft is concerned about your privacy. and it won't let me go any further, and it won't let me close.
Okay, so every time if you could, on your bottom docket, you have Excel down there. Are you able to right click and quit the application?
No, I can't. Yeah, I have to force quit it.
And then when you bring it up, what version of Microsoft Office did you put on there? Do you know?
2019. It's
2019.
Office 365.
Okay. And then here, let me show you here. Let me just show you my desktop
And I don't
here.
have the problem on my laptop, but it's just on my desktop. I mean, on my desktop, I can't do it.
And so when you actually put that on your computer and you downloaded the Office 365, have you ever been able to open it up?
One time about 3 weeks ago.
How about Microsoft Word? Are you able to open that up?
Can't do that one either. Mm-mm.
And does it give you any options when it says it's concerned about your security preferences?
Oh, there's one about something about your data. I clicked on all those, and it doesn't really say much of anything. It just kind of says this is what we're concerned about, but then I can't even close up that page, and I have to force quit it.
That's weird. I would love to see what options they're giving you. If you're able to screenshot it before the end of the call and maybe send it over to Ashley and Nicole, then I can see that whole message, and probably I'll be able to help you a little bit more with that.
Okay, so how do I send that to Ashley?
Do you know how to do a screenshot on the Mac?
Not on my desktop. I can do it on my phone.
Okay, or yeah, take a picture of it with your phone, and then if you send that over to Ashley.
We'll
add my email in the chat.
Okay.
What's that?
Can you see the chat? If you see look at the chat, Ashley's gonna put the email to send it to in the chat box do you see your chat box?
I see my chat box.
Okay, so Ashley's gonna put in the email where you could send it.
Okay, perfect.
There you go.
Okay. One new message. I just have to open that one new message.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So then, Debbie, go ahead.
Thank you.
Hi.
You're very welcome.
I'm muting. Hi. So
Hey,
here's
Debbie.
my question on my iPhone. Since the 15.0 upgrade
Mhm.
to the phone, I no longer get my calls announced. So they used to announce the number or the person's name. And I don't know whether or not it's because I have a lower grade phone, it's 6S, and maybe it's just not taking it anymore. I've done everything. I've gone into settings. I mean, it says incoming calls, full screen, announce always. I don't know if I'm missing something. I've tried it a couple of times.
No, that's exactly it. I was trying to see if there was anything that disabled that, but I'm familiar with that feature. Have you tried to power off your phone and perhaps and I say you could either do a hard reset or you could power it off and then power it on to see if that changed it?
You know what? I did power it off. Also, I can't hear all it is vibrating and I used to get a phone like a ring. And then I went into sounds and it's all set. So I don't know. You know what? I'll try it again. I'll try the hard reset.
Yeah, try the hard reset by pressing the home screen button and the button on the side.
Okay.
On the right side. Just press and hold those two till the whole phone powers off, and continue to hold it until it starts to power back on with an Apple. That's a hard reset, because if your phone isn't ringing and it's just vibrating, and you're saying that it's not announcing calls, it seems like there could be something up with the speaker, which could be software related, and that hard reset should fix it.
Okay. Oh, I'll do that right now while we're talking.
Give it a shot.
Okay, great.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Okay, so I know there's a bunch of questions in the chat, and I do see Elvira and Catherine's hand up. So do you want to take a couple from the chat and then we'll get to the hands up?
Yeah, that'd be perfect.
Okay, so Marcia wrote question, has an Apple phone, older ones, should she update to the 15.2 or the newest update or not?
Marcia, which phone do you actually have?
Oh, hi.
There you are.
I have, what do I have? I have the original SE, Apple SE, and then I have the updated Apple SE.
Okay.
But you know, the thing is, there are things on YouTube that say, well, if you do update to 15, you better turn off this, that, and the other thing. So I don't know, should I do it or not?
You know, it's obviously personal preference, but one of the things I would say, you can update because your phone's new enough to update. What I usually say, or I wouldn't say update, upgrade to the latest OS. When you upgrade to the latest OS, obviously things change. So from iOS 13 to 14 to 15, the features are changing and they're trying to make things better or easier for us. But like Nicole and I, we were talking before the call, and we were just talking about a feature with Safari, a feature that Ashley loves, Nicole really don't like, and I'm actually on Nicole's side. I really don't like the feature either, where now it puts the little bar at the bottom. So there, you just have to be cognizant and understand those changes before you do it. What I usually do, I always update to the latest so I can kind of play around with it and figure stuff out and mess with it. But for you all, what you could do is go to like the Apple website and learn about those new features. Most of the time for certain things, you sort of can go back to the old way. And sometimes the old way is the old way and you can't go back. They just upgraded it. Right. So I would say kind of look at those new features before you make that jump. At some point, you will have to upgrade because it's just going to be more secure for your phone and just to kind of learn a new way of doing things.
Okay. Julius, is the original SE, is that too old or do you think it's okay?
It's not too old. I will tell you, it always, any type of upgrades usually slow down older phones. So it's older. And I want to say, I think that was 2018 or 19. I can't remember what year it came out, but it will slow it down. Nothing drastic like it was doing with the 6. That iPhone, but it will not work like a 13, the iPhone 13. Well, it's just going to be a little bit slower because it wasn't made for that upgrade, but it can take that upgrade. So you still should have a good experience on that phone.
Great. Thank you very much, Julius. Thank you.
You're very welcome, Marcia.
Okay. And Benita, she's having trouble how to scan, seems to get blank copies and a graph shows up. Can't understand why it shows up. Can you help?
Okay, so Benita, you there?
Okay, I know where it says to go to the scan.
Mm-hmm.
And so I click on the scan, open it up. I have my copy on the printer, and I then touch scan. I click on scan, and the picture, the copy does not show anything. It's blank. Usually,
okay.
I used to get a copy.
All right, so right now when you scan it, what type of scanner do you have?
Oh, it's on my Apple computer.
Okay, but then the actual printer scanner,
HP, it's an HP.
HP, do you have a number?
I know, but I can call my husband to tell him.
All right, no, it's okay. I just wanted to kind of give you more, but HP is pretty much they're most of all the printers and scanners are kind of the same. Usually in most cases with HP printers, you have to put it in face up, right? So it is faced up, the document.
That's the number one thing I'm doing wrong.
All right, so check that out, because usually right on the top, it'll have like a little guy, which means face up. But some printers, just for the record, it's face down. You just have to look at that to see. So see if you have it faced up, and if that is indeed the icon for face up, try it again and how you've been doing it in the past and see if that works for you.
Oh, okay. I'll do that. And then, so then when I have that copy there in front of me, this little graph kind of comes up. You have to kind of move it. It says, how much of this do you want? Or something to that effect about how much of the copy do you want?
Oh, okay. So are you doing it on the scan bed?
Yes.
Or so you're doing it on the scan bed. Okay. So if you're doing it on the scan bed, what you're witnessing is that Apple, and as well as other computers, they allow you to kind of just take a portion of that. So you have to click and drag to make sure it's within those dots.
So how do you click it? How does that work?
So when you see those dots, you're able to kind of click and drag. I wish I can show you.
Okay, so I click and drag, but then I get all these lines and it's kind of like a graph. After a little bit, I go, ah.
Yeah, so do you have a flatbed though? Like we're at the very top? I mean, I'm sorry, the document feeder on the top of the printer?
The top of the printer, it's just, I open the flap and then I set it in there.
Okay, so it's only a flap. You don't have anything where you can insert a document. Okay. So in that case, what you could do is there's a part, this won't probably allow me to.
At one time I used to be able to scan, but then now it's not working. And maybe part of it is that copy being upside down.
Yeah, that if you have it upside down, because in that case, I'm thinking you're going through the document feeder, you definitely want to put it on the flatbed. And you want to face it down because it's going to scan that.
Okay, I face it down.
And if it's still not showing, it's not scanning, that's really odd, because usually it just takes a picture of that. I was thinking that you were going on on the document feeder, which has to be faced up, and then you slide it through. But if it's on the flatbed, the scanner bed, then it should be face down and it should grab that image.
Okay, so I have it flat down.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, if it's not doing that, it's hard to say without being there trying to replicate it, but it should always grab that image. That's just weird. I have no idea. I wish I had an answer for you.
Okay. All right.
Without seeing it, it always should grab that image.
Probably not. Okay. Well, yeah. I'll think about that one then. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. I wish I could help more, Benita.
That's okay. But thanks for the folder about the photos. That was good.
Yes. All right. You're welcome.
So Eleanor, the new Apple iOS system says that they can change your email so no one can identify it. She's confused and would like to know, should she do it and where to begin?
Yeah, so with this whole pandemic, COVID, it ushered in a lot of different things as it relates to security. One of the things Apple did, not only just with the email, but also with like Macy's, any type of company that's sending you emails, they're able to stop them from tracking you. What that means is, it's not that it's tracking Nicole and Eleanor as Nicole and Eleanor. It's basically, it can, anytime someone sends an email out, for instance, like Bed Bath & Beyond, when they send you that email, they get data which says Eleanor opened this email. Eleanor read this email. She opened it multiple times. They don't know, they can look at her email and see, this is the email of the person which we sent it to, and they can track that every time she's, forwarded, opened it up. So Apple said, one, we're gonna stop that. Unless you want to continue to give these companies data, you can okay it. The second part of it is your email. So let's say you have an email address. I have an iCloud account or Me account. And what I am able to do is, if I want to send an email, they say, hey, would you like for us to hide your email? And I can say yes. And what will happen is they will create a fictitious email and then send that email. That's my email address, which you never get my real address, so that you can't market to me, if that makes sense. So it's not a bad thing. I think it's a thing just for security. I've played around with it already just to see how it actually works. And it's a pretty cool feature where it's almost, again, it's almost like a PayPal in between. So Apple's going in between to say, hey, if you want to email Bed Bath & Beyond, we're going to give them a fictitious email, not your real email address. And then your email will still go out to them, but they never get your email so they can market to you. Because when they send something back, it's just not going to work that way. PayPal is kind of like the same thing. You put a credit card with PayPal, and then when you pay a company via PayPal, that company never gets your credit card. They just get the PayPal information, if that makes sense. So with the email, it's I wouldn't say I've done it, and I like the way it actually works. But if it's confusing, just keep it the old way for you, so that you could just continue to send emails, send and receive emails that way. But it's not a bad thing.
Yeah, but I want to do it, but
Yes.
is it the default now, or do we have to turn it on? I don't know.
You can actually do it as a default.
Does it have to be just because, like, I have my at yahoo.com, does it have to be at iCloud in order to do it?
That feature is, I'll tell you right now. I know I just got it with my, let me show everyone so you all could see this. So how I got here, I am actually going to my settings here. And then from here, I go up to my Apple ID. And then here, I go into my iCloud. And so these are the two things here, the private relay. iCloud private relay keeps your internet activity private. So again, that means that if you go to like a coffee shop, it kind of keeps your IP address private so that no one can try to cut into your connection. It's a layer of protection. The other side is hide my email. And it's thinking. All right, so here, keep your personal email address private by creating unique random addresses that forward to your personal inbox and can be deleted at any time. So I created 2 already, and it just created these random email addresses for me, but it forwards to this. So it's almost like right now, I think it might just be an iCloud thing and not in a Yahoo thing, but I will have to check into it because I've only tried it with my iCloud. But that's basically, if you all are seeing this, you'll see how it just hides your email so that no one gets your real email address. And I can continue to create different email addresses. This is a feature that Google has had for years. And no one really even uses it on that level, but that's basically what it is right now. For Apple, I think it's just an iCloud, but I'll confirm.
Okay, and you actually made up that whole thing with the Atlas, blah, blah, blah. You had to
No, actually, that's this company that I order from, and it gave me a random email address to choose from, or I can create one. I just took the random one.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's with each individual email that you send out, you do that?
No, this is actually so for when I made a purchase with Atlas Monroe.
Okay.
And when I did that, then it said, hey, would you want to sign up for one of these hide your email? I said, let me give it a shot and try it. But I just wanted to see how it works so I could explain it to you all. Okay. And then the AT&T, that's literally the AT&T company. I did it with them as well, just to kind of do it again, but I can also come in here and create one as well. Okay. So here, let me stop mirroring. Does that make sense, folks?
Yeah.
Again, it's just literally, don't think too hard about it. It's just what Apple's saying. Instead of, like, my email is julius@nerdalert.com. So if I wanted, a real world scenario. Let's say I didn't want you all to get my email address, right? I would say, hey, Nicole, can you email Eleanor on my behalf and just ask her this question? And then you'll only have her email address. You wouldn't have mine. But Nicole will always send me your email, your response. So what Apple's doing is just saying that because people are taking your data in your email address, when you sign up for Facebook, when you go to Bed Bath & Beyond and they say 20% off for your email address or $20 off, you're like, hey, this is a great deal. But for them, it's an even better deal because what they get is your email address, and now they can talk to you all day long when you leave that store until you shut them out. Apple's basically saying, hey, if you want to put a stop to that, you can give them not a bogus email, but a fictitious email address that will still forward over to you. But once you delete that email address, now you don't have to go through the process of going to unsubscribe, 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 unsubscribe. You can just go in there and delete that one email address that you've given everyone, and you won't get any more emails from those companies, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So Barbara Scala has a hand up, but she has a question for the Samsung tablet. What app does she use for Zoom?
Okay, Barbara, that should still be the Zoom app. If you go into the Google Play Store, you should be able to find the Zoom app for your tablet.
Barbara, are you with us? Can you hear?
But yes.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, when I go into the Play Store and I look at the different apps, they said to use Zoom Cloud, but when I read them, everybody wrote a review that this doesn't work, it's horrible, don't even bother downloading it. And they said it about all the apps basically, but that's the one that Google suggested when I asked Google. So, I mean, should I download it? And if it's no good, just uninstall it?
I would say in the Google Play Store app, I'm just looking this up. Zoom
Thank you.
app. Sure.
On my phone, I'm fine. I mean, I have Zoom. I don't know what Zoom. I just have Zoom and my phone is fine, but I'd rather use my tablet.
Sure, absolutely. So here's the app. Like I just went to the Google Play Store, just on the browser.
Right.
This should be the one right here, the Zoom Cloud Meetings.
Okay, that's the one. Just download it.
Yeah, because you're gonna get some people. Now, the reason why this has 4 stars out of 5, there 3.2 million reviews. Sometimes people will leave a review and say, hey, this app sucks. Like
Right.
Zoom makes an app for an iPhone, an iPad, a Mac, a PC. They make different apps for all of these different platforms. So maybe on this particular platform, people are saying, hey, I don't really like it. Well, like 20% of them are saying they don't really like it. But
Right.
I bring this up because I just want you to know that this is coming from zoom.us, and that's going to be the best app. Sometimes you may find other apps that may say or have the word Zoom in it. I just want to make sure you're getting the one right from Zoom. This is the one that they created.
Okay, so you said Zoom Cloud.
Yeah, if you go into the Google Play Store and you just type in Zoom, this should be the first one that goes up to the top in the Play Store on your tablet.
It is the first one because I looked, and I just want to make sure that's the one. Okay.
Yes, that is it.
Okay, so it's a Zoom Cloud and it is the first one. Okay,
Yes.
Yeah.
I thank you very much.
You're very welcome. My pleasure.
Okay, and Armand had a question on how to make the voice output on the iPhone 7 Plus louder.
All right, so with any phone, with any iPhone, pretty much I'm hoping, let me just see here. Let me share this guy right here. Turn off. So first off, I'm going to share my screen, but then also I'll show you the button, which I'm sure you probably know, but I'll show you anyway. Let's go here. So if you could see me here, I am also holding up the phone. I have this button. So let me just get in here so we can see it. Here we go. So if you see now I'm in my phone, I just want you to see, I'm just hitting the up and the down volume keys, right? But on my screen here, you can see the white bar going up, and then I'm pushing it down. If you can see that, that's your phone ringer right there. You can also, just to confirm it, another place you can go to is in your settings. And then when you go into sounds and haptics, you can make sure that this right here is all the way up to the very top. So you have the volume. Sometimes when you're in your phone and you're seeing that all the way up going, you're like, hey, everything's all the way up. Well, that's the volume that you're going to hear if you go to YouTube or play your music and stuff like that. And you're like, well, I know it's turned all the way up. But usually when you're outside of your phone, and like I am right now, and I hit my volume, I can tell it's going up or down. But if you go into your settings, you'll be able to really manipulate that as well.
Do you see it, Armand?
And it's under sounds?
Yeah, sound. Mine says sounds and haptics. I'm not sure if you have the haptics.
I'm all the way up.
Yeah, so if you're all the way up, that's probably gonna be the highest that it's gonna go.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, because it sounds like it only comes out of the bottom right portion of the phone.
Okay, so if that's the case, what I would check, let me just stop this really quick. What I would check is underneath here, because these are both speakers right here. So make sure that sometimes I've seen where there's something in the speakers. Like I've dropped my phone, on the ground before and something got in there. If you do it, go to the beach, you get sand in there. Just make sure nothing is in there muffling that sound, because if you only hear it from one, that's a problem. There's something physically wrong with the other speaker. You want to make sure that you can hear it from both.
Okay, I cleaned them last night with a toothbrush.
Well, you then
So there's nothing
got in there. Yeah.
There's nothing in there.
Yeah, I would, what you could do is you could try to see if you're close to an Apple store, I would only go to Apple and just see if they can diagnose it and see, if there's a problem because you can't hear out of one, and see exactly what's going on.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I have another quick question, if that's okay.
Sure.
Okay, when I'm on my iPad looking at my emails, if there's something in the email I want to read or see, I tap on it and it only comes up to like 1/4 of the screen. It comes in from the right to the left, 1/4, doesn't fill the screen.
So your email on your iPad, it doesn't fill up the whole screen?
When I click on something to do, let's say there's an article in the email that I want to read. I click on the article, it comes up only as 1/4 of the screen.
Is it like long?
Yeah.
Okay. Hang on, let me see here. Let me see if I can replicate that.
And I tried swiping it and it just goes to the left.
Okay, let me see.
Is that on your iPad or on your phone? On your
iPad.
Yeah, so I know what he's got. Is it a newer iPad?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's it's that crease, Julius, where you almost have to make it big and then you can't get rid of it. It's like a weird thing. You have to like how to manipulate it.
Oh, yeah. Okay, like this here.
In the very crease. It took me a while to figure that one out too. The whole thing with that long.
I think I know what you're talking about. Let me see here. You tell me if this is it. This guy right here is just powering up. What you have to do, I know exactly what you're talking about since Nicole described it. There's a line, a demarcation in between both of those apps. While I get this guy on, it was doing an update. And basically you just have to take your little finger. I wish I could, let me see if I can show you right here.
It's almost like when you make your email bigger or smaller, like you could do it there. You could do it on an email.
Yeah.
Yeah, like there. You see that? You got to go in the
see
center.
this here?
It just goes to so far.
Yeah, you see that? So I can just, you just want to
Did that
push
work,
that guy
Armand?
over.
I don't know. I'm
Oh,
watching
okay.
that.
Okay.
Yeah,
But
so
when it came up, it was on the on the right hand side, and I hit it and I sort of swiped it. It went all the way to the left, but it was still 1/4 of the screen, not the whole screen.
yeah, it's like, so you want to there's a way you can turn that feature off. And how you do that would be, let me see if I can share this. This has an update. Let me see 1 second. So I want to show you. All right, let me try this again. All right, so here's my iPad. And in here, you'll be able to actually turn off some of these features here. So you have basically Safari and your Mail app together, right?
How do you
Is
mean
that correct?
Safari and my Mail app? What does that mean?
Meaning like your browser, like Safari. So when you click on the link, you have the browser as well as your Mail, and they're side by side, right?
No, when I click on an email, let's say it says, we would like to have you review your doctor's appointment.
Yes.
When I click on it, it comes up like 1/4 of the screen.
So are you able to like slide just like this? Are you able to slide your finger over the other way to move the Mail app so that it takes up the whole screen? Are you able to do that?
I haven't tried that.
I would give that a shot, because that's exactly what it is. It's just you have to move your Mail screen up so that it could actually only have the Safari. Safari's probably your browser.
Whatever I brought up, yes.
Yeah, and then it'll give you a full screen. If you just slide the other one over, how it's only 25%, just slide it over and it's gonna go to 50, then 100%, and then you'll be able to see full screen.
Okay, so I've got a line coming down with my emails, a portion of the email that I can see, and then the part that is covered up by this new Safari piece.
Correct. Yeah, you just want to slide it over. Whichever screen you want to make bigger, take that line that's in the middle, or if it's 25, 25 and 75%, just take it over and make the Safari screen 100%, and then the other one will go out.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll give that a shot.
Perfect.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And Elvira, I see your hand up, and there was a question in here that Elvira asked on how to organize files and photos on the Samsung computer. Is that the question you had, Elvira, or you have another question?
I have one more important than that.
Oh, okay.
Signing into my Gmail on my computer. I have my personal account as a default, but now when I go in, there's another account that opens. How can I get back to my default account?
Okay, so here, let me show you all, because I have this already open. So can you all see my screen here? I'm in Google. Forget about what's on the screen, but to the top right, you'll notice that here's my personal Gmail address. Can you all see that?
Right.
And then underneath here, there's a client that we work with, the admin here, other profiles. So if I want to basically sign into another account, I can, right now, this is my sync. I'm already synced in here, which this is the person number one. So I can go in here and I can go and, I can go and add a new account and then sign in. Continue without an account, but I can sign in to another account. And then you can get back into your default account. Is that what you're asking?
Well, to an extent, I go into that and I go down to my default account and I hit on it, and I will go into my default account. But I would really not want to go in one of those other accounts. I'd rather go directly into my default account. How do I get back into the default account?
So like, here's my Gmail. If you're trying to get into your email specifically, this same one, this is my personal account.
Right.
If let's say this is one of the accounts you don't want to see anymore, right?
Right.
You could just go and sign out, and then you're going to sign out, and then you're going to hit continue. So now when you go to sign in, look at this here. Like, it's going to say, hey, do you want to sign in? Because I'm already signed out, or I can remove an account. So the accounts that you don't want to see anymore, just go and remove that account, and then I can go and hit the minus sign so I don't see that guy anymore, and I'll remove it.
I don't want to remove it. I just want to get back to my default.
Okay, but if you want to make the default, I will remove those other ones first and make those the default, or otherwise you're going to have to go and sign in or go and make this main guy at the top where it says paused, your default. That's the main mamma jamma, if you will. If you want to go on there, this is going to be the main one that's always going to be signed in. So in this case, I'll sign into Chrome. And once you sign in, I'm just waiting, 413-385. So once I sign in, now this is my main account. This is going to be it. Otherwise, what you'll have to do is you have to toggle back and forth and then go and sign into another account and keep going back and forth. But if you want that other one to be your default, I would go and sign in to your Google, which you can go into your settings. And this is my main account. This is what keeps everything in sync. And then I can go and sign into other accounts that I want to.
Okay, very good. One other question.
Sure.
On the same computer, it's a Samsung,
Mm-hmm.
my volume is rather low. Now, it's very good while I'm talking with you, but if I go into Zoom, it's very low. And I would like to know how to increase it. Now, there is something that says plus that increases, but it doesn't work on my computer.
Okay, so right now you're saying that your volume is pretty good with everybody that's on here today, right?
Yes.
And then when you go into another Zoom call, it's kind of low.
Usually all of them are low, but this.
Okay, so maybe I just have the magic touch. Who knows? No, I think it could be them. And I'm not saying that it is them. I'm saying that it could be them, because if you haven't touched the volume whatsoever, and then you jumped on this Zoom call and you can hear everybody loud and clear, it could be on the other side. And I'm stressing the word could, only because if you're telling me that you can hear us all okay and the volume is good, it could be the other user in which their volume is kind of low. Usually on your Mac, on your PC, the Samsung, that volume button that's bringing the volume out of your speakers, you're going to have a ceiling. And if you have it all the way up, that's as loud as you can go, unless you add some third-party speakers to it, which you can purchase some of those, and then you can actually really turn it up a little bit louder.
All right. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Let's see here. Okay, I see Dottie, Catherine, Marion.
Yep, and we have 2 more questions in the chat, which one was a quick, positive Pat, how to make her face brighter, her picture.
Okay, so Pat, if you're trying to make your picture brighter, are you able to go into your video settings
The video settings?
Yeah, so if you go to like where your video settings like where it says stop video, don't hit stop video, but there should be a little arrow to the right of that, and then you can go into your video settings.
It just says front camera, same as system, which is checked.
Okay, and how about
video.
and then how about like underneath that? Do you see anything about a background, video filter, or video settings?
Oh, that's under settings. That's different.
Yeah,
Okay.
because what you will want to do is you could like I don't have a lot of options. Like I know this Mac that I'm on right now, which is it's an iMac, and then my MacBook Pro, for whatever reason, I think it's the camera. My MacBook Pro, the camera is a little bit darker. And then this one just gives a better picture, it's wider, but I'm able to change that in my video settings. So if you can get to your settings, there's one option to adjust for low light. And then you can turn that on to see if that actually helps out.
Okay, I don't see any of that. Like when I'm looking at people, everybody looks bright. Like, and I tried to put in the light in the front. I figured it was because the light was behind me. I put the light in the front, but it's just partial.
The light behind you definitely adds to taking away from the light. If you even have a ring light or any of that, it definitely helps. Like I have a ring light on, it's making me brighter, but that light that's coming from that window behind you is definitely, if you had that darkened, like have you ever done it at night? That definitely, when you have light behind you, it totally takes away, it changes the whole brightness, even if you have the light in front of you.
Oh, okay.
So that's a great idea. Yeah, because it literally, the camera's trying to take in all of that light, and then it's trying to make up for it.
So it makes it bright behind you, but yet it's darkening the picture of the actual person speaking. And even if you have a ring light or a light in front, or even any light in front of you, that's always the key. We always tell people they have a light above their head, not good, or behind them, it's not good. It just gives you a bad filter, like the light. It's just not good.
Oh, okay.
So
what's behind you is a background?
No, I have a ring light in front of me. I don't have any window. I have a window way behind me, but I have a ring light in front of me. So the ring light, I mean, if I shut off my ring light, see how I got a little darker, but I put it on and it brightens me up, changes the color. It makes me a little darker, but then it just brightens it up. It's just an easier, visual.
Yeah.
With that light, with the light coming in front of me like that. But I definitely, I would suggest either maybe changing, if you turn your desk or your computer a little bit away from that back window, that might help. If you could angle it different.
I agree.
Okay.
Try that, because you could see the light coming right through, right when she moved, the whole sun is coming right through the camera. See, like, you see that? Like, when you move, well, there's another little window there, that's the thing. But you are getting clearer. See, now is it much lighter? She's not, you can see her more. It's that light behind. It's if you can
I even have my shades closed because of the wires. It'll mess up the whole picture.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, that's time to sideways.
Perfect.
Do a little rearranging. Yeah, that's always fun.
Yeah.
I do see, and there's, before we get to the last two, that hands up, I do see Dorothy has a recent problem that she can't play HBO Max programs on her Safari browser or on her MacBook Air.
Yeah, I'm there. I'm here.
Okay, so HBO Max, question for you. How do you get access to it? Are you going through like a carrier, like an AT&T, or do you pay them directly?
I pay them directly.
Okay, and then when you go on Safari, what type of error are you getting why you can't see that movie?
Okay, I have an email. It says start streaming. I go to a website, Play HBO Max, and I click on an icon of one of their programs, It says cannot play the video.
Okay. Do you know what operating system you're working on?
Safari.
And how about like for your whole MacBook Air, like if you go up to the top left, there's a little black apple up there, and then underneath, if you click on that black apple, you should see something that says about this Mac.
Yeah.
When you click on about this Mac, what version of Mac OS do you have?
Big Sur version 11.6.1.
Okay, so that's good enough. You're updated. Now, when you go to, let me go here. Let me see here, Safari. I'm sorry, HBO Max. So let's go to HBO Max. When you go to hbomax.com, do you see this here?
Well, that's not where I go, because when you say start streaming, it goes to play HBO Max. I've never gone to HBO Max. I've never gone directly to HBO Max. Maybe I should try that.
Yeah, that's good. This is gonna be your guide. If you pay them directly, you go through. This is the way that you'll go and get HBO Max. So
not really, but okay.
And then once you sign in, then it's gonna give you this option to either here. Let me show you here. When I go to sign in HBO Max, you have a couple options. The reason why I asked you how do you get them is because there's two ways. If you pay them directly, you want to put in the email address in which you signed up with, as well as the password, then you can sign in and you can get it. Me, it's free with AT&T that I have. So in order for me to see it, I go and sign in with provider, and then I have to go and choose AT&T. And then I have to go and log in with my AT&T credentials. So you'll see this here. I just want to show you the end result. However, you have to log in. If you go directly to HBO Max to sign in with a carrier, this is what you should see when you're in. You should see yourself logged in up at the top. Notice up here, it says play.hbomax.com. You want to go to hbomax.com, and then it'll take you to the play.hbomax.com. Once you then click on one of these shows here, then you should be able to play and stream whatever's on here.
But that's what doesn't work. I see the shows, I see the arrow, and then when it tries to play, it says it can't play the video.
But you said that you weren't going to hbomax.com, right?
Well, I know, but you're at playhbomax.com. That's where I am.
Okay, and do you see yourself signed in up here to the top right?
Well, I never signed in. I went via an email link, which...
Okay, in order to watch anything on HBO Max, if you have an account, you have to sign in. That's the only way.
I haven't in the past.
I'm pretty sure you probably signed in. Because otherwise people will just be able to watch it all for free. HBO will definitely, someone probably signed you in the past. But this is the only way, because just so you see here, let me sign out, and I'm just going to go to hbomax.com up at the top, right? So let's say I click on Harry Potter. Nothing's happening for me right here because I can't click on these. Now, if I click on stream now at the top right, now when I go to stream now, again, you get here. These things are going to tell me to sign in order for me to watch it. So I can watch it if I have an account. So they're going to tell me either subscribe now or sign in. Otherwise, I can't watch anything. So you're going to have to sign in with your credentials.
Okay, I haven't had to in the past, but I will try that. That's something new. I've always been able to connect via the email.
I see. Yeah, I would just try to sign in. I think that seems like your biggest problem. I know you haven't done it in the past. Maybe you were the one that was lucky, but you have to sign in order to see HBO Max's content.
Okay,
And
I have a sign on. I can try that. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Oh, you're very welcome.
Okay, Marion, no, actually, yeah, go ahead, Marion. If you could unmute.
Yes, Julius, I just wanted you to let me know again when we went into the sound and the H, whatever that was. What did you maneuver to get that straight line to move?
For the volume on the phone?
Right, where it says ringer and alerts.
Oh, okay, yes. Here, let me show you. Let me share this here. So once you go into your settings here on this phone, it's on the bottom right. And then once I go into sounds and haptics, you just want to press and hold that little circle.
Little circle.
And then you just move it. I'm just moving my finger back and forth by taking that circle and going left and right.
Okay, thank you.
All right, you're welcome.
Okay, and Dottie, go ahead, if you can unmute.
Yes, thank you. I was going to send my question by chat, but when I go into chat, it says chat disabled.
Yeah, the chat fills up and we can't get to all the questions. So if we leave the chat open throughout the whole call, Julius, we'll all be here for breakfast tomorrow morning. We'll be here. We'll be having coffee together because believe me, we all have these questions. Then we go to the hands. So that's why what happens. They start to fill up quickly. And then if we don't shut them down, then it just literally can go. We never want to not get to a question. So that's why you can raise the hand, but go ahead, you're on.
Okay, I have a smartphone and I have it plugged in, but the percentage of power keeps going down anyway. So I thought as long as it was plugged in, it would be powered, and it shows it's powering, but my percentage.
It shows that it's charging?
Right. I was on a Zoom call with a friend last night and I had it plugged in and it kept going down, down, down. And then all of a sudden it said 0 power and it just shut off.
What type of phone do you have?
A smartphone Jitterbug. Oh shoot, what's it called?
It's an Android Jitterbug, right?
Yes, right.
Okay. Yeah. How long have you had that guy?
About a year.
I would check the battery. One thing. So sometimes every once in a while, when one uses a third-party charger that did not come with the phone, I've seen that hurt iPhones as well as Androids. In addition to that, if you're having a problem like that, it could very well, and you are using an authentic charger, it could very well just be the battery itself and some software issues. So I will reach out to Jitterbug and let them know, especially if you're using their charger for that particular phone. And then maybe they could do a switcheroo. But if you're using a third party, sometimes those chargers aren't good. And I've seen those chargers that you can get at, it's not knocking Walgreens. They don't make it, but they sell them where it's a third party charger, or like at Walmart or Target, that really does not mesh well with the phone, and it does more harm than good.
Oh, really? It is a third party, but I got it at Fred Meyer Kroger store because it's like an 8-foot and it gives me plenty of room to where I have it. The one that came with is pretty short.
Yeah, so now the one that, if you still have the one it came with, that'll be your test right there. Plug it up to that guy and just see what happens with it. And if you're not finding the same problem, then, it could be the battery. If you are finding that now it's working with the old guy, chuck the new guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much.
All right. You're welcome, Dottie.
All right, Maxim, you're up. Go ahead.
Yeah, one quick question. It pertains to another question you had before. I am using my Mac as my main computer. Mac I had, and I got the same thing that she did when I wanted to log on Macy's. It stopped me. It said the privacy issues that they couldn't log on to the website.
The on your Mac, the Microsoft issue?
Yeah, on the Mac. I was trying to log on to Macy's, and it said because of privacy, I couldn't log on.
Let me see here.
Now I've logged on to Macy's, of course, to the other laptop, but not on the Mac.
Yeah, now the difference in between her issue was more bringing up Microsoft Office and it was giving us privacy issues. But if you're getting that on your browser, are you using Google Chrome?
I was using Google Chrome on the Mac, but it still did not show me the Macy's website. It says that due to privacy issues, that Macy's have too many, I don't know, something was logging in or something. They see privacy concerns.
Okay, yeah, that shouldn't be. Try going to google.com first and then type it in Macy's and then clicking on a link right from Google. That way we can ensure, not to say that you're not going to the right link, but I would look at that web address because, I mean, sites go down. I think the last time we were all on Facebook and Instagram was down. It can happen, but that's not the case with Macy's. I personally, and not saying that you're doing this, I personally have typed in 2 C's, like let's say, for example, MACCYS. If I was going to a different website, I misspelled it. And I'm like, oh my goodness, what the heck is happening? But you could, one of the things to kind of get around that is typing in Macy's in the Google search, seeing what comes up at the very top, clicking on that link and see if you get the same error message. You should not, because Macy's right now is up and running. And if that's the case, you can try to restart your computer to see if that refreshes its brain. But I would start out with the Google first, because that may just give you that proper link that you need to go to, and then it'll pop up.
What about going in the settings? I think because it's a privacy thing, because Macy's does track you, and this computer did not care for being tracked.
Yeah, well, if something was altered in those settings, you certainly can. In the Google Chrome settings or the Safari settings, you can go into the settings. Okay, in Safari, you can go into the settings, and the only thing I would probably do in there is once you go into privacy, you could manage website data, and you can, find Macy's, search for Macy's, remove it, and then go back to Macy's.com and see if that actually fixes it. Okay. If that should fix it, but normally you shouldn't have anything else blocking that. You'll have right now with Apple, just so everyone can see it. Let me just show you all. And Catherine, we're gonna get to you. I see your hands up. Let's see here. So if you notice here, my privacy report in Safari, bunch of trackers tracking me. This is just something that Apple is now showing you your privacy report. Every website that's tracking you, and they're preventing 148. But if I go up here to Macy's.com, this should indeed take me there, and you should have a lock up there to ensure that you're on Macy's.com. If for whatever reason you're still not getting there, you can go to your preferences, the top, you go to click on Safari at the top left, click on let me actually share my whole screen so you can see it all. Otherwise it won't show it. Here we go. So you will go to Safari, and then preferences. If you can't get to a website, this is just clearing the cache. And you basically go to privacy, see where it says manage website data.
Yeah.
Once you click on that, this will start to propagate with all the websites you've ever been to. You type in Macy's. This right here is storing all of this stuff. You click on it, remove it. And let's click on this one here. Done. And then now I'm already on the website. So if I type it in, you should be able to get to it if you're having problems. This should clear the cache and should get you into that website.
All right. Thank you.
All right. You're welcome.
Okay, Catherine, go ahead. You want to unmute?
One of my things that I try to share my screen sometime, and the videos that I be trying to share, sometimes they come through clear and sometimes I can see them very good, but the person that I'm trying to share the screen with, they'll say it's choppy. What do I do? Yes, it's choppy. What do I do?
So now when you're doing that, you're sharing your screen on Zoom, right?
Right.
Okay. Sometimes it could be that seems like an internet, like as far as like you're trying to show. Before I say that, think about it this way. So when you're Zooming, we're all Zooming right now. I get to see all your lovely faces. You get to see mine. You get to hear my voice. I'm sharing my screen. I'm doing all of these different things, right? Mm-hmm. So what's happening on my end, my computer is constantly downloading all of your images, your video, everything that's going on, right? In addition to your voice. At the same time, my internet is uploading my picture and my video, all of this stuff to you all. It's all about the internet. So now when you start doing extra things like sharing a video, sometimes if you get in a delay and they're saying that it's choppy, it could be your internet connection. One of the things that you can test it out with is just going to speedtest.net to get an idea of what your internet connection is looking like. So speedtest.net, speedtest.net. And then once you're here, I'm gonna hit go. And this is gonna test my internet speeds. It tells you who your carrier is, where it's pinging from. Here's my ping. I have a pretty decent connection. So that's my download. So me downloading all of your images, I'm able to see everybody with no problems if your internet connection is legitimate. So if it's a good internet connection, I'm able to see all of you okay. But then my upload speed is really good too. And this upload is usually 10 to 15% of your download. The only time I see that the upload and the download are very similar is if you have fiber. Then you can have 400 download, 400 upload. But right now with Comcast, this is definitely sufficient for you all to be able to see me and hear my voice and to be able to see what I'm sharing on my screen. So I would check that, Catherine, to see what your internet, your download and upload is. If it's kind of low, and maybe your Wi-Fi connection isn't the best, that could be the reason why.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
It's speedtest.com.
Speedtest.net.
Speedtest.
.net, yes.
Okay.